Welcome to Recollection Mall. If you were a mall rat like me or spent your formative years at the mall, then you've come to the right channel. Have you ever gone into your childhood or teenage or adulthood mall and ever wondered, I could have sworn that there was that store there? So let's take a trip down memory lane and go into the history of that mall in your home state. So stay tuned. Every Wednesday, I'll be doing a mall history of the oldest mall in every state in the US. Please subscribe and leave a comment or memory about your time at this mall. Thanks. The first fully enclosed shopping mall in Pennsylvania was built on a 29-acre plot located 7.5 miles north of Pittsburgh's Golden Triangle. The complex was first known as McKnight Shopping Center, a single-level 55,000 square foot strip plaza of 17 stores, which opened for business on December 10, 1953. In the early 1960s, Maryland's James W. Rouse Company purchased the strip center, renovated it, and added a fully enclosed upper level. As a $10 million Northway Mall now encompassed 394,000 leasable square feet. There were 64 store spaces and 7 retail kiosks. The complex was officially dedicated on August 1, 1962, with the governor cutting the ceremonial ribbon. The Northway Mall also featured the nation's third-class elevator. The mall was anchored by a two-level, 170,000 square foot Joseph Horn Company. This operation was the fifth branch in the chain, which stood on the south end of the mall and included a 20,000 square foot budget store. Three tenants in the original strip center was F.W. Woolworth, Thrift Drugs, and Evie's Beauty Salon, which moved into the larger quarters in the newly constructed mall. The existing A&P was expanded and thoroughly renovated. New stores in the Northway complex included National Record Mart, Park Lane Hosiery, Hughes and Hatcher, and a G.C. Murphy 5 and Dime. The enclosed shopping concourse was landscaped with tropical foliage and plants. Northway was the premier shopping center in Pittsburgh's North Hills area for several years. Local competition included the North Hills Village and later in 1986, the Ross Park Mall. As its first competitive measure, Northway Mall was renovated in 1979, which included new wood paneling and interior landscaping. The A&P supermarket space left the mall in the spring of 1979 and was rebuilt as Herman's World of Sporting Goods. This store opened for business on October 31st, 1979. In 1986, Horns downsized into a lower-level home store, but in 1987, it would close. By this time, the mall was in decline. A new owner, a Dallas-based Southwest Corporation, embarked on a major renovation of the structure, which was completed and dedicated on October 9, 1987. The South Court had been opened up to the floor below, which had originally contained the Horns budget store. A two-level atrium was created, and the G.C. Murphy space, vacated in December of 1985, became the National Amusements Super Saver Cinemas 8. Its first features were shown on April 1, 1988. The movie house was renamed the Northway Mall Cinemas 8 in November of 2001. Meanwhile, the upper level of the old Horns opened as a 77,000 square foot Dahlkemper's catalog showroom on October 9, 1987. The lower level became a 73,000 square foot Columbus, Ohio-based Value City, which was dedicated on November 25, 1988. The shopping hub now had encompassed 90 stores and services. A two-level space at the front of the mall, originally leased as the Red Coach restaurant and a cocktail lounge, was rebuilt into an office-level mezzanine and a 7-bay food court in 1990. The original eateries were China Fan, Rack's Roast Beef, The Covered Wagon, Chicken and Fries, Greek Deli, and Mama Lucia's Pizzeria. a 1974 tenant that had relocated from the store on the mall's McKnight level. In January of 1991, F.W. Woolworths closed. The building sat vacant for 5 years. In 1993, Herman's World of Sporting Goods and Doll Kempers closed. In June of that year, a $13.5 million renovation was announced. The empty Doll Kempers became a Dick's Sporting Goods in March of 1994, with the vacant Herman's on the lower McKnight level being expanded into an adjacent space. A Borders Books was dedicated on April 21, 1995. As these stores were established, the upper-level mallway was being reconfigured. A new entry was cut through the existing Super Saver cinemas, and the vacant Woolworth would be replaced by a Marshall's, who opened up in 1994. A mall corridor was also cut through previously existing store space adjacent to Marshall's. A new escalator linked this corridor with the lower level of the shopping hub. The renovated mall was officially rededicated on May 4, 1995. At the same time, the shopping mall was sold to McNeil Real Estate. They flipped the property with the Dallas-based Arching Group, assuming ownership in May of that year, 2000. Only 5 months later, the mall was sold again. The buyer, known as Northway Limited Partners, was a joint venture of Pittsburgh's John McKinney and John Zimet. At the turn of the century, the mall was still in a downward spiral that renovations in the late 1980s and mid-1990s had failed to reverse. It was decided to go with the current trend in retail and perform in partial demolling. A new mall name, Shops at Northway, was bestowed in late 2005, with demolition work getting underway in early 2007. The cinema, closed in January, was demolished along with 12 adjacent stores on the upper level. In all, 58,000 square feet were demolished, with remaining stores open to the adjacent upper-level parking lot. New stores opened, such as Shoe Carnival, Homestyles and More, and the Kid Company, a family play center. A 17,000 square foot Aldi discount grocery opened as a freestanding structure in November of 2008. Unfortunately, the Great Recession set it back as renovation on the shopping mall was being completed. Value City closed, along with Old Navy, the Kid Company, and Dress Barn, who went out of business by late 2008. Borders Books closed on September 13, 2011. In 2010, with the opening of the McCandless Crossing, it would eventually take the primary anchors of Shops at Northway. On April 8, 2014, Dick's Sporting Goods closed. Meanwhile, in early 2012, Northway defaulted on their mall loan. The complex was bought out of the bankruptcy in December of 2012. Its new owner, Akron, Ohio's LRC Realty, acquired an adjacent property, formerly an elementary school, and were working on incorporating it into a plan for a renewed shopping center to be known as Northway Collection. In March of 2015, an alternate name, the Block Northway, was announced. Rumor had it that Costco was coming on board, but this didn't pan out. However, Nordstrom Rack, Saks Off 5th, and the Container Store were eventually confirmed as future tenants of the prospective 467,000 square foot shopping center. Retail space on the north end of the mall was demolished. Newly built stores included a two-level 40,000 square foot Nordstrom Rack, which opened on August 26, 2016, a 24,000 square foot Container Store, which began business on October 13th, and PetSmart also relocated into a 14,000 square foot structure. Other sections of the mall were gutted and substantially rebuilt. Saks Off 5th set up shop in a two-level 36,000 square foot store, which opened on October 3, 2016. Marshall's renovated their existing location. An 18,000 square foot DSW was also installed in existing space. The old Horn store was gutted and reconfigured. A 100-space parking deck was created on the lower level, along with spaces for Bassett Furniture, Kirkland's, and Core for Life Eatery. The upper level was sectioned into 6 spaces, with one being a 40,000 square foot Dave & Buster's Grand Sports Cafe. Completing the Northway refurbishment was the 11,600 square foot strip plaza built in the upper level parking lot next to Aldi. This structure housed stores and services such as Cycle Bar, Piatta Italian Street Food, and Jason's Deli. They opened for business in October of 2017. Today, the 467,000 square foot shopping and entertainment mall is anchored by Dave & Buster's, Nordstrom Rack, Saks Off 5th, The Container Store, Bassett Furniture, Marshall's, DSW, Ulta Beauty, and PetSmart. What do you remember about this mall? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.